Welcome, my darling pretties, to our Beyond the Dawn of Business podcast for pretty, empowered female entrepreneurs. It's time to step into your power, pretties. Lift each other, support the squad, and choose a life filled with the autonomy and freedom to live your dreams. I'm your host, Dawn Beth, owner and founder of Beyond the Dawn digital business brand and agency. My coffee is hot and my eyelashes are on, so we are ready to go. Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today I want to talk to you about stylized shoes. Something that has become much more popular and definitely something that we're taking more seriously in 2023 as business owners. But what is a styled shoot and why would you need one? I know that so many of my clients are talking to me now about their branding and the way that they show up in the world that allows for their ideal clients to truly have a good understanding that they are the perfect fit for them to work with. And this has been something that is not new. Branding and messaging and being able to place yourself correctly in the market is not something that 2023 drummed up. It's been going on for hundreds of years. But in 2023, there are more accessible ways for you to place yourself in the marketplace where you want to be without having to pay what we used to have to pay for such great brand elevation. So, if you cast your minds back just a few years ago, maybe 20, 25 years ago, you weren't able to go ahead and make yourself an album in your bedroom, create the music, and just have it go out to the entire world via the internet. Or if you could, you were only just becoming able to do that. Nowadays, you can write a song, record the song, and market the song on TikTok all in the same afternoon. Okay, there's no gatekeeper, or at least there's not as many gatekeepers. And that is the same for all of the different ways in which we use the internet to connect and to show up for other people. Now, brand awareness is an initiative that marketeers use regularly to be able to establish a new business into the hearts and minds of their consumers over a period of time, but not too much time, to make sure that there is an opportunity for a business to grow quickly enough to sustain itself and continue trading. And what that basically means is that we have a very short window as business owners, a few short years, in fact, to establish ourselves and elbow our way into the marketplace in a significant enough way that we are actually making enough money and income to be able to continue with our businesses. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're sat here listening as a sole trader, or even if you have a side hustle business at this moment in time, that you can't continue that on the level that you're on. It all comes down to your own personal requirements when it comes to how you want your business to be. We've had clients that just want to make an extra £500 a month, and that is cool, okay? But if you're doing that, you still, whether you realize it or not, have a place in the market from which you need to stay and maintain. Also, every single business will have what we call consumer churn. And that is where the life cycle of one of your clients or customers runs out and they go elsewhere, or they decide to no longer work with you, or they even just pause for a little while before coming back. We can't expect that the people that are buying from us today will definitely buy from us over and over and over again, forever, amen. Although sometimes they do, and that's really nice when they do. But even that can sometimes play into the level of your brand, what it is that you're doing, and how you're showing up for people. So, If you're in business and you're thinking to yourself, I know I need to be visible on social media, I know that I need to be doing emails, I know that it would be interesting to do a podcast or to get out there in terms of outward visibility, then you will have probably already considered what kind of content you need to be able to do that. And we know a whole host of amazing photographers who have the last few years really thrived on being able to bring out somebody's brand perspective through the visual medium of photographs, which can then be shared on social, on your websites, in your emails, on your posters, wherever you want, really. And this has been a really, really good introduction for small businesses because photography, such as that, was gatekept. A lot like what we were talking about in the music industry 30 years ago. You couldn't just afford a photographer to come and take your picture and give you these digital files that you could use time and time again. But now you can. It's very, very accessible. There's lots of amazing photographers to choose from. Many of them are expertise in their field. And many of us as business owners have not only invested once or twice in these things, but we are investing regularly, if not quarterly or monthly, in these things all of the time. It's become a very normal standard practice. And that's great. If photography is going to fulfill your social media strategy or your product strategy or the way in which your business is growing. And again, it depends on where you're going to place yourself in the market. Now, a few years ago, you could have contacted me and we would have met up probably in Manchester or Lytham, and we would have had a cup of coffee in a coffee shop. And with one single camera and a couple of phones, I would have taken pictures and videos of you, hundreds of them, so that you could go ahead and use them on your social media, on your websites, in your emails, wherever you wanted, and we would call that a content shoot. And the reason we call it content shoot is because I, at the time, did not have a professional photographer on staff. I didn't have a professional videographer on staff. It was what we call casual content. I'm very lucky that I grew up in a time frame where casual content is actually second nature. We take casual content just for self expression on the daily. So it's not something that is difficult for us to come up with. Combined with my understanding of strategy and digital marketing, it was very, very simple for me to take you on a lovely jaunt around some nice restaurants and cafes or onto the seafront, for instance, and get some amazing pictures and videos that you would be able to use in your business. And that was so much fun. And don't think for 1 minute also that you can't do this by yourself. So if you're listening to me and you're thinking, I don't have the budget for a content shoot, Dorney, but I still need all of those assets. Please, please give yourself an afternoon, take a friend, go ahead and do that. Now, I have amazing friends that did this with me. My friend Laura took me out. She was heavily pregnant at the time as well with her son Leo. And she took me out for the afternoon and we went all over Blackpool. We took some amazing photographs, some of which I still haven't fully used. And it's so crazy when I think about all of the different asset kind of appointments that I've had and how many folders of pictures and videos I have. I probably have archive upon archive of amazing things that I've never ever used. And I need to go back and review them all because I'm sure that there will be a use for all of them. But she did that, and she was just my pal, chasing me around Blackpool, heavily pregnant, having a laugh, watching me try to change all of my different outfits so that I could get the right pictures. And we got some stunning pictures that day. Now, luckily, my friend Laura is really talented with a camera. Again, not classically trained as a photographer, but absolutely fantastic at taking pictures, just naturally creative. And she was amazing that day. About a year later, and just before COVID hit, I took my friend Clive, who was helping us out in the business at the time, and my sister Susan, and we did the same thing all around Lytham. And again, neither one of us was classically trained in any kind of photography or videography, but we just took them on smartphones. We took some absolutely incredible pictures that day that if you were to look through my Instagram, you would see many of them. Obviously, you probably wouldn't know that they were the ones from that particular day, but I would. And they cost me the price of having two friends come with me, and I paid them for that day. Not a huge amount either. I think it was a ridiculously small amount to come and hang out with me for the day and take photographs of me and of us as a team. Now, that's the kind of stuff you do when you're new. That's the kind of stuff you do when you haven't got a budget, and that's absolutely fine. But there will come a time when you look at your business and you recognize that actually you are making a little bit of money and you probably should be investing in something that is a little bit of a higher level. Now, quite often, people have neglected their brand as a whole from the very beginning because nobody seems to get the memo how important your brand visual is at the very beginning. We get lots and lots of people who come to us at the very, very start of their journey for a full brand suite. And I'm always like, hallelujah, because they're not paying cheap and buying twice, and they're not going to have to change it again in 6 months or 12 months because they've invested up front. But even myself, as I'm saying that, I'm a hypocrite because that is not what I did with my first logo. I didn't have the budget to go to a fancy branding agency the way some of our clients come to us now. I built something on Photoshop that I taught myself off YouTube at the time. And I did what I did. Now, luckily, that particular logo did last me the entirety of that business, which was quite a long time. But that's an exception. It's not very, very common. All of these things, when you're thinking about your brand, really need to have some consideration because we do sometimes invest in the wrong things first. That's not to say that we can't make use of all of the investments that we have, but sometimes if you do things in a different order, it can make things easier for you. So you need to do that reverse engineering thing when you're thinking about a client paying you to work with you. What are the steps before that have occurred for them to actually be able to buy from you? And one of the steps in that sequence, no matter who you are or what your business is always going to be that they have seen you and felt like they understood what you're offering, potentially even understood you as a personal brand, and have bought into that enough that they feel comfortable to spend money with you. So all of that comes into the content that you're sharing, all of it comes into the way you're showing up, and all of it comes into your brand and the way you have branded yourself. And I'm going to say it again, placed yourself in the market. So, for instance, when you're having a stylized content shoot, if you get to the stage where you're thinking, right, okay, so I'm the kind of business that is making good money, but I'm always after new clients. I want to have an up level. I want to show up. I want to get my outward visibility further. Then you might be thinking about all of the different ways that you could achieve that, all the different ways that you could do that. A content shoot, a stylized content shoot, is like a brand shoot on steroids. It's like having your own personal set for the day as though we were about to make you your own personal music video. Only in place of you miming to your song, we're actually giving you the opportunity to talk directly to your ideal clients and to your wider audience, the people who you're going to nurture who aren't quite on your ideal client spectrum just now, but will be sometime in the future. And this is a beautiful way for you to do this. So, what's the difference between a normal content shoot and a stylized content shoot that also has strategy? Well, basically, when you are having a brand shoot with a photographer, quite often you will have an understanding of what you want to achieve from the photographs. So you may bring props, you may have different outfits, you may have different poses that you want to show. For instance, you might be sat at a kitchen table with a laptop and a lovely cup of coffee. You might have something that you want to actually bring into the photographs that shows visually part of your branding and who you are. But with a stylized shoot that contains strategy, what we actually do is we create for you an opportunity to get video footage and to get photography footage that allows you to fully incorporate what your strategy will be when using that content. So, if this is going to be website content, we know it beforehand. We know which website page it's going to go on. If it's going to be YouTube, we know what part of your directive it's actually buying into. Okay. If it's just going to be photographs, we know exactly when you're going to post them as part of your social media strategy. So we go one level deeper in understanding what needs to be achieved with these photographs. Of course, what's really good is that they are so versatile that you can actually multi-purpose them or repurpose them quite easily. But before we go into the point where we're actually taking the photographs, we make sure that we're going to get all of the different little things that we need from this content. Now, what's nice about that is that when we create a strategy for you, it might be slightly different to the one that you would create yourself. If you come to a marketing agency or a consultant like myself, we're going to have insider knowledge, we're going to have a bird's eye view, we're going to be able to look at the landscape of your niche or even just the general landscape of consumerism, and we're going to be able to give you insights into what's working or what could work for you. We might have more creative ideas than that you would come up to with your, by yourself. And we can give you the option to look at things differently in a way that you never ever would before. Okay. So, one of the beautiful things about this is that if you was to create a movie, as a mini movie of yourself, you would have a producer, you'd have a stylist, you'd have a makeup artist, you would have hair, you would have runners on set, you would have everything you need. You'd have directors, you'd have videography, audio, photography, the whole shebang, okay? This is what we are offering when we have our content shoots. The whole shebang, as I like to say quite regularly. It's like a mini version of business Hollywood. And the best thing about it is that not only do we have just this most wonderful experience, which quite often has illuminating breakthroughs for our clients whilst they're in it. Somebody said to me that the experience of doing a content shoot with us was worth way more than the deliverables or anything else. Just the experience of coming and having that day, me asking the right questions, styling the lady, her having hair and makeup done, being treated like a VIP, but then getting all of the content for her business as well. And then she gets all the deliverables on top of that, which is just even better. Now, what's really, really special about the way that we do it is that obviously the experience is fun. We love it. It's our most favorite thing to do. And we get to explore you as a person. We get to explore your business. We get to explore your brand, who your ideal client is, and how we're actually going to make a really good emotive connection, get that emotive response going with the people that you are aiming to reach. But then we take all of that content and we edit it. And we create promo videos and backgrounds from reels. We make you specialized graphics. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We give you the type of content that you couldn't ever possibly create by yourself, because we have high level videographers and photographers, and then my team edit everything and give it back to you in this perfect little bundle of bits and pieces that you can use for your overall strategy, quite often with a little guide to let you know how we suggest you would use it and when to use it as part of your directives. When you're doing these things as a business owner, you shouldn't need to understand Photoshop. You shouldn't need to understand how to edit a video. Like, those things, as nice as they are to have, and if you're a creative person and you love it, then by all means dive on in, the water's fine. But if you're not, and you're actually just a CEO or a founder or a solopreneur, and you just want to get some more clients in your business and do the things that you need to do in marketing for that to be achieved, then this is perfect for you, because the assets allow for you to fully embrace your brand and to get yourself out there in a really easy way. Now, obviously, if you do it yourself, if you take yourself out with a friend and a couple of phones, you're going to have to do those edits yourself. It's totally easy to do, though. And whilst you're at that point in your business, do go and do it. If you haven't got the budget for somebody else right now, go and do that. Everything is content, okay? There's so much that you can be sharing with the world. Don't do it for the likes. Don't do it for the comments. Do it for yourself. Do it for self expression. Let people know who you really are. Give yourself the opportunity to shine, okay? When you do it professionally, if you do something like our content shoots with us, you're not going to have to worry about any of that stuff, because we take all of that stress out for you. We sort out the venue, we sort out all of our team, we make sure that you are comfortable, and all you have to really do is turn up and do the things on the day that we will guide you to do. And then when you receive your deliverables, you get the exciting opportunity to use them however you want to. The reason why we love doing this in this way, especially with having a full team, stylists, lighting, hair, makeup, audio, videography, photography, runners, directors, the whole shebang, and all of our editors and our graphic design team in the company afterwards as well, is because essentially what that allows for you is the opportunity to just completely chill. Give us the chance to take all of that stress and worry off of your shoulders. Also, quite regularly, there are gatekeeping in terms of how much content you can get, whereas we don't do that with our content shoots. We will guarantee you a minimum, of course, to make sure that you're happy with what you'll receive, but we will give you as much good content as we can get. So it's completely unlimited. One of our clients just last month got over 1,200 files, pictures, mini videos, proper videos, a bunch of graphics, a ton of different things that we'd created. Like, she could use them all year. She could literally use them all year. And they're just our edits. I'm sure that when she gets them back, she will have looked through them and potentially changed them, repurposed them. A couple of our clients have assistants and VAs and stuff, and we get the most amazing emails back from people's VAs just saying, "Thank you so much, you've made my life so much easier." But that is the point. So, if you're at the point of thinking, is there any point in having branding photographs done? Is there any point in investing in a content shoot? Is there any point in any of those things? Please recognize that when somebody is looking for you online and they're looking for somebody who's good quality, somebody who gives a lot of value, somebody who has social proof, somebody who looks like the real deal, good quality content will be the thing that makes you stand out against somebody else. And yes, the competition doesn't exist. And yet, you still deserve to be positioned in the marketplace exactly wherever it is you want to be. So I hope this has been helpful for you, pretties. Go ahead and make some extra content today, my darlings. Get it out there. Let your people know that you're there and shine. There is nothing better that you can be doing.
If you're loving our Pretty podcast, come on over to Social Pretties, our online safe house and sisterhood community. It's a safe space where female entrepreneurs connect and thrive in a warm, welcoming fold of pretty amazing women. You'll find an easy redirect in the description, and I can't wait to see you in there. And depending on where you're listening right now, we would love it if you would click subscribe or follow so that you can be the first to know when our new podcasts come out.